Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a Kickstarter that has grabbed my attention. Now, this isn't a negative video. I actually like this Kickstarter. So, I spotted this about a week ago and I've been meaning to make a video on it, but a few things have cropped up and this had to sit on the back burner. So, let's take a look at this. This is Dungeon Full Dive. Make your tabletop worlds real. A game for PC or VR that allows you and your friends to dive into your tabletop worlds. Already, this is really exciting for me. As somebody who's wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons throughout lockdown and really struggled to get people together because of lockdown, this is naturally the solution to it. Yes, you could play on Discord and just hang out with your friends on there, but it's not quite the same as being around a table with friends. Now, this offers a solution to that by allowing you to all be in VR in a digital world around a virtual table. And I guess let's take a look at the video and see what the creators have to say about this.
Are you bored of playing tabletop like this? What if you could play it like this? Experience combat like this. And roleplay.
I just want to pause that and say the ability to jump in as your miniature character and play as your miniature character and interchange between the two of them, that's incredibly cool. That's something that is obviously a must-have for this. Well, it's not necessarily a must-have because other games have done it where you can move the pieces around on your tabletop game. Very few, if any, have actually done it where you can jump into your character and control it. You can literally dive into your Dungeons and Dragons setting, your dungeon that you're in, and roleplay your fights while the rest of the team watch you take your turn from around the big table. That is so cool. That alone is a hard sell for me on this.
With your friends. Like this. Are you interested? Let me present to you Dungeon Full Dive, the new way to play tabletop.
Hi everyone, my name is Kang. I'm the founder of TXK Gaming and I'm really excited today to talk to you about Dungeon Full Dive.
A tabletop game for people.
So, I'm going to start off by saying, yes, there is a large portion of this that is assets that are used. However, they are fully excused for using assets because they have a tangible product. The mechanics that they've created for this, where you can dive into your character, and the fact that they've got the whole VR interaction with grid snapping walls and movable things that you'll see in a bit. The fact that they've got all those mechanics totally excuses the fact that this is mostly assets. And actually, assets really lend themselves to this style of Kickstarter game, because having more and more assets to play with actually just enhances this. It gives you more to actually do in this. So let's continue.
PC and PC VR that will take your adventures to the next level. So, how does it work? First, you pick a character. And when I say pick a character, I mean you really pick a character. Because in DFD, you can play as whoever you want. And now your friends can actually see you as your character.
So that's really cool. You're not just like a bunch of hands floating around the table like a lot of games currently do for VR. You're a full character. And this, for immersion reasons, is really cool. A lot of reasons behind VR games not having full characters and just having floating hands and stuff is because interactions with a lot of things, it's kind of difficult to do in VR, and a lot of people can't do it well. For moving things around a table, inverse kinematics, which is what it seems like they're using, lends itself really well to this. It's a perfect solution for something of this level.
After that, you load into the game, where you can play tabletop just like you know it and like you love it.
They have character sheets, which look like they are D&D Beyond character sheets. If these guys can or have integrated D&D character sheets into this is going to be an incredibly cool game. Like, incredibly cool. Because D&D Beyond is a staple in Dungeons & Dragons now, like, if we're honest. Even people playing around a table physically usually have an iPad or some sort of tablet with D&D Beyond on it. Because it's just easier.
Now, you don't have to imagine anymore, because your Game Master can load you anywhere in the world, where you can enjoy the scenery, explore the environments, and use them to roleplay with your friends like never before. But how does combat work, you're asking? Well, your Game Master can summon a game table at any time, where you can choose from a wide variety of.
And I'm going to point out again why assets in this work, why this is a very clever use of assets. During Dungeons & Dragons or any sort of tabletop RPG, you, as a game master, to successfully immerse people in your world, you need lots of assets. You need hills, you need walls, you need fences, chairs, tables. And to have a large collection of these really takes up space and money. They are very, very expensive. This is fantastic because you've got an infinite building kit to build out your battle maps. You could, from what it seems like they're saying, you could prepare as a dungeon master 6 different dungeons and stuff for your session for that night. And as they've played through one, flick of a finger, boom, you've got the next map out and you're ready to just continue on. There's no break of immersion while the DM sets up a table. And this is just really cool. I really like the idea of this.
3D battle maps that you can easily import with just the press of one button. Once you have chosen a battle map.
Like, how cool is that? Jumping immediately from one battle map to another. No setup required, no downtime, no breaking of immersion. It's really, really cool.
Map, you can place your miniature. And if you really want to take combat to the next level, you can switch into the eyes of your miniature.
And I just want to point out, you might be thinking, that's weird that you zoom through walls and stuff. They're showing it as it currently is, and I really, really respect the devs here. They've not used any sort of smoke and mirrors. They are showing you what they currently have and saying, here's where we're going with this. They're laying out a very simple demonstration of what they actually currently have. This is the way to do Kickstarters. Don't try and add polish where there isn't anything to polish, right? Show the game as it currently is and let people know that this is the stage you're at. Massive respect to these guys for showing it as it is.
Experience combat from inside the battle map. Walk around and face your enemies like never before. Or experience what it really means to have the high ground.
I will say as well, during this, the combat doesn't seem to be polished up. Now, I don't know if the combat is there just for role-playing purposes and there'll still be dice rolls. You know, they still intend for you to use dice rolls, but you can, you know, role-play out your killing blow on a zombie or something. I like this.
But what if you don't like our battle maps? Or you want to create your own battle maps? No problem. Use our in-game battle map builder to make your own battle maps. Or save some time and just modify the battle maps we give to you.
This is another thing. A lot of people write campaigns for Dungeons and Dragons and they've got it written to a T, every detail. You don't even need to do that anymore with this. Like, if all of you are playing on this, you can say to a friend, oh, hey, can I borrow your D&D campaign? Or can I borrow this, like, scenario from your D&D campaign? And just, boom, there you go. They can literally give you it. How awesome is that?
The possibilities are endless. Because in DFD, you can create your own adventures. And we want to make them as immersive as possible. And to help with that, in DFD, your Game Master can transform into all the NPCs that he wants you to meet. So you don't have to pretend anymore, but you can actually talk.
And again, this is awesome. The Dungeon Master, if they're into their role-playing, will often role-play the characters that you meet and come across. So, doing that across Discord doesn't really land, you know? It's kind of half there. You've got the voice, you've got the You don't have the characteristics of that character. This is so cool. Just swapping in to these characters and playing them out as you. You are literally acting them out.
The magical creatures of your adventures. So, roll for initiative and for the first time ever, experience your adventures from the eyes of your hero.
And again, there are physical dice in this. You still get to roll your dice, which is something that you don't normally get to do with friends online. You know, people don't roll dice physically when they're online because people can fake dice rolls. It's not as immersive. It's not very impactful. What's the point when you can just press a button online and roll dice? You can roll dice here and everyone can see it. Again, really cool. I like that. These guys have clearly thought through a product that they want. Like, they want to take real tabletop Dungeons and Dragons and translate it as well as they can to a digital medium. Now, I'd say they've done that very well. Does it need polish? Absolutely. The models, they do need to try and get some sort of consistent art style, at least sets of art styles, so that it's not just, so they've got a very low poly dark set of assets, very high fantasy. They just need to try and stick to about 5 different styles, I'd say. And clearly these are assets. Clearly some of these are placeholders. They're not claiming that this is the end game. So let's have a look through the rest of their Kickstarter. By the way, it's now at £60,000 out of the 8,000. I believe it was $10,000 they asked for, and they're now at 60,000. So from looking through earlier, this is basically a non-video formatted version of the video. So let's look at the tiers instead. Lowest tier is $27. Dungeon Explorer, 10% rebate. I don't know what that means, but explore the future of tabletop and your lifetime license of Dungeon Full Dive. Get the game on release, which is cool. $27 for game on release, I would say, is incredibly fair for a Kickstarter that you're backing. Lifetime license of Dungeon Full Dive. Now, this is the thing. I need to look into this. I think this might be a monthly payment, which, if it's something that's going to be regularly updated, that's understandable. Which I would hope it is, because Dungeons and Dragons is ever evolving. You need to keep up with it. So doing that makes sense. But to get a full license, lifetime, $27 backing it, that is more than fair. $30, Discord exclusive titles, the only addition to that. Again, fair, very fair. $40 or more, access to the beta. Again, very fair. Full access, full-time, lifetime access, Discord title. $45, Black Ice dice set. So you get some in-game exclusives, flexing your dice. Let's have a look at some of the top. 1,500. Our character builder isn't enough for you, and you want the nitty-gritty pixel-perfect details for your character. This reward is for you. Together with our 3D modelers, you create and design a character we will customize. I don't normally like this in Kickstarters, because normally it shows a lack of understanding for how much effort is required to do this. Per person that backs. You've almost lost the value of the $1,500 as the developer of this in having to pay a developer to develop the character for said person. In this case, their character creation seems to be a very low poly style, and I would imagine it's quite easy to get a very good likeness to people in a quick amount of time. So this seems like a reasonable tier, actually. And you get full access lifetime for 4 people. So you can get a full party, dungeon party going with it. And I believe some of the ones before also have option. Yeah, you can get 4 of everything with some of the... Okay, the $300 tier allows you to get 4 of everything. So does the $129. Is there another one? Okay, $129 to get full access for you and 3 other friends. Extra dice. You get some good stuff with it. I'd say that's a very good value pack, provided you all have VR. Now, this is not only VR. You can play this on PC, just regularly on PC. So this is really cool. What makes me want to give these guys full credit is if we go to the comments, people asking, is there going to be this in the game? Is there going to be that? Now, it would be quite easy to say to these people, yeah, we'll add that. Sure, we can have that. What, you want that? Of course, we'll add it. These guys have got a vision and they're sticking to it. They're saying, we might add that if we have time, but the current plan is not to. Let's try and find some. Hello, your project seems very interesting. The double support VR/mouse and keyboard especially. I have a couple of questions. Other than any players needing a license, will there be additional constraints to play? For example, limitations on the number of players on the same map. Technically, how will the multiplayer work? Will it be hosted session or dedicated server? My real question being, is it possible to host a big party for an RP event over several days with people from all over the internet? Thanks for the feedback. Currently, we plan to support 1 to 8 players with a client-server host model, peer-to-peer with relay server. But if the community wishes to host big events, we would love to support that after the launch. So these guys are not over-promising. They're not saying you can run dedicated servers where people can drop in, drop out, which would be a very easy thing to promise. But these guys know that it's not easy to promise and deliver. So they're sticking to their guns with it, which this is a very good sign of a project that knows what it wants to be and is trying their hardest to get there. I've got a lot of confidence in this, and I'm going to back this 100%. I'm probably going to back it at the $40 tier, to be honest. If I can get enough friends interested, I'll probably back it at the $129 where you get 4 licenses, because I'm very eager to jump into this. Especially for the beta. I really want to play beta access of this. And when this beta comes out, I will be making a video on this. I'm super excited to try this out, and I wish these guys the best with it. Ladies and gents, I hope you've really enjoyed this. I have enjoyed looking into a Kickstarter that isn't a scam, as far as we can tell. And it's something I look forward to doing more of. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications, and leave a comment. These are the things that allow YouTube to know that you want to see more of these, and it'll push it to more people. Speaking of more people, we actually have a patron now. And thank you to the first 3 patrons, Dee, Mantle, and Tracy. Me starting a patron allows me to do a lot more in terms of research for my videos. It allows me to put aside more time. As a freelance developer at the moment, it allows me to just drop a day's work and put that into research on a video, which I think is beneficial to all of us. It also allows me to do things like upgrade the lighting, upgrade the audio, all of these things that make the content you're viewing better. If you guys want to support me, you can support me for as little as £3 over on Patreon. If not, you absolutely don't have to. But with that said, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, an incredible week, and I will see you in the next video. One last side note, if you're watching this as this video premieres, I'm going to be over live on Twitch right now, hanging out, chatting to you guys, probably playing some dumb games, and just chilling. So drop by and say hi.